So I'm in Michigan right now because I wanted to experience real winter, and I'll be here until May. And this is the first time I've lived in a place with real winter, and I severely underestimated how cold it can possibly get. Why is the ground white? And just to be able to ride my bike in the freezing, blistering cold here, I had to get a whole bunch of gear to not get frostbite and also to be able to see where I'm going and not slip on ice. When you're riding on slicks in the snow and you pull a skid, you just keep sliding forever, which on paper sounds like a lot of fun. In practice, it's kind of terrifying because, you know, you kind of need to stop sometimes. And while anti-skid tires may be the antithesis of fixed gear riding, it is absolutely necessary. These Schwalbe Winter tires with their fancy pants carbide studs weigh in at about 800 grams for a 700C by 30C tire. Like, I've had wheels that are lighter than this tire. Hey, it's Zach from the future, here to bring you a message from this video's sponsor, Wabi Cycles, because I am working on my Wabi special. So there's good news and bad news. The good news is that a lot of you guys are buying Wabis, and that's fantastic because they're really great bikes, and I'm sure you'll be super happy with them and have a ton of fun on them for potentially the rest of your life. Steel is real. And the good news is if you're looking for their top-end Columbus Spirit, that's one of the lightest steels that money can buy, Wabi Lightning, they're still in stock and you can nab them up. Bad news is, I don't want to say bad news, it makes it sound way more grave. The other news is that Wabi's other frame sets, word on the street is that the Wabi Classics and Wabi Specials will be coming in around early April. And I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I've been working with Wabi for the past couple years on this upcoming project, and we have some very special specials coming up, let's just say that. Wabi's got you covered with wheel sets from your favorite brands like Wabi's own in-house wheel sets, which are some of my favorite wheels I've ever ridden. Velocity, H Plus Sun, Lacetive, Phil Wood, or Grand Comp, what have you. Any budget, they've got you covered, and other components from Nitto, Sugino, Brooks, Thompson, and more to help you build the fixie of your dreams. Be sure to check out Wabi Cycles linked in the description. I'm a professional now. I wear gloves when I work on my bike. Brakes seal has been broken. Got some F's in the chat for my tubeless setup. Gotta siphon all the tubeless yogurt out of here. I've never dealt with these specific Schwalbe Winter tires because there isn't ice on the roads where I'm from, but I have dealt with Schwalbe tires before, and they are some of the hardest to install. And although these aren't specifically stated to be tubeless compatible, I'm predicting they should work, because for something to be tubeless compatible, it needs to have a really tight fit with the sidewall or the bead on the rim. And the tighter it is, generally the easier it is to make tubeless. And already I have high hopes for this one. These tires are so stiff, I'm gonna save so many watts. Yeah. So my biggest hesitation with switching over to tubeless, which is what I did about 4 or 5 months ago, was that how do I work on my bike when I'm traveling, because I travel with my bike a lot. If the tubeless seal breaks, if I have to reseal a tire, how do I do it without an air compressor or a big charger pump that I can't exactly take with me on an airplane? But I figured it out, and that is this thing. They don't sponsor me, but Airshot, if you're watching, hit me up. Let's get it going. This is an Airshot tubeless canister. Basically, it is just the compressor part of the air compressor and not the pump part. So how it works is you pump it up full of air, can hold up to 160 psi, and then you turn this nozzle and you have enough pressure to seat a tubeless tire onto a rim. It's really fantastic. You just throw this in your check-in luggage and you're good to go. And it can work with a hand pump. I found that I was able to get it to about 120 psi with my Toe Peak Road Morph G. It's easier with a bigger pump. And I don't want to be carrying around a bigger pump, so I got this little Nugget automatic pump air inflator for cars. And it gets this thing up to pressure pretty easily. Inflating in 3, 2, 1. Ah, too easy. Too easy, Schwalbe. Not tubeless compatible, my butt. Everything's fine, everything's fine. Gonna grow big and strong. This is always the most nerve-wracking part for tubeless, because sealant could just explode everywhere. In 3, 2, 1. Seems good. Easiest tubeless setup of my life. Don't try this at home. I am obligated to say that. But it may not work. You definitely should not do this at home. Please fit. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is not my rendition of a Jackson Pollock installation. These are just the joys of going tubeless. I was able to get it on pretty easily, but not gently enough. And my tubeless tire was not seating and was not getting enough airflow because it was just so tight that it just screwed up my rim tape, so air was escaping through many spoke holes. Tubeless is so fun. This is my first time installing tubeless rim tape, and it's a lot harder than all the tutorials make it look, and there are quite a bit of air bubbles in it. I'm hoping that the tire will seat and be airtight. I will be pleasantly surprised if it is, though. Do the soapy water technique to help the tire hopefully seat. Arming the tire in 3, 2, 1. Seems like it's mostly holding. The fun part about tubeless is almost everything has to be just about perfect. You never know if it's going to work or if you screwed up some minor thing along the way. Oh! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's so easy, just like that. After days of troubleshooting, you too can put tires on your bike. Oh, that's a mess. Well, the good news is it's holding. The bad news is there's yogurt everywhere. You're supposed to do it like this. Forgot that minor little detail, otherwise looks pretty good. Oh, this is good. I really should just get tubeless compatible gear, but there's something especially satisfying making something work that's not supposed to work. And also the only tubeless compatible studded tires are like $80 a pop, and I'm not about to spend that when I got these for like $25 a pop. All done. Time to never ride my bike. Of course, right after installing the tires, it's finally warm enough for the snow to start melting. Say on dry pavement, the sound that these studs make, it's a little disconcerting. Like there are just essentially just nails driven into the tread, and also how thick the tread is makes the bike feel more like a mountain bike. And whatever rubber they're using feels a little squirmy. You can definitely feel the rolling resistance on these things on the dry pavement. Just kind of feels like somebody turned the resistance up on a stationary bike like half a turn. The more resistance makes you faster for when you put your fast tires back on. Oh, here we go. Here's some ice I can test. It was fine. Oh, some more ice. Look out. Oh, shit. Okay, that's still scary. Still terrible. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is the test. Okay. How about these studs help with big tree roots? Oh. Should not have brought the backpack today. Still some patches of snow, patches of ice. I can't even fit under this. I'm too tall. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. Oh, this is great. Okay, I like these tires. Even though this isn't exactly their intended purpose, I can feel the tread biting in, and I can just put the power down, to get over these roots and fallen branches. Where the heck? Is this for biking or walking? Track bikes are for the track. Road bikes are for the road. Mountain bikes are for the mountain. Oh! Ooh, that's traction, all right. Snow on top of crunchy leaves on top of mud. No slippage. Why does this always happen? You go through the whole rigmarole to install things and get things set up for certain conditions, and then those conditions just disappear. I was under the impression that the Midwest is a frozen tundra for 6 months out of the year. And then I come here to Michigan and the snow isn't even sticking around for most of the time that I've been here. And on the West Coast, we hear these terrible stories about how unbearably cold it is in the Midwest winters. But being here, it's actually super nice. And people from the Midwest or who have lived in snow always tell me how terrible it is to bike in the snow. But biking with my fixed gear on snow is like my new favorite thing. Yes, it is terrible. Yes, it is sketchy. And yes, it is a pain in the butt to clean up your bike pretty thoroughly after every single time you ride it before you take it back into the house. But there's just something that's uniquely challenging about riding in the snow and having all this control over your bike. And yeah, I didn't get to test my studded tires, and I am a little bit bummed out that there's not enough snow for me to test out my studded tires properly. But another part of me is bummed out just because it's such a fun experience riding your bike in the snow. It makes riding my bike just entirely refreshing in a completely different way that I've never experienced before. And also, track lacrosse is one of my favorite types of riding, and when it's snowing, even when you're on the pavement, it makes everyday normal riding turn into technical track lacrosse riding where you have to be completely aware and careful to not lose control of your bike and not slide. It's reasonably dangerous. What can I say? It's great. Be sure to get subscribed to see some more real winter biking content. Big fair shoutouts to Brent David, Zane Kolnik, Brandon Black, Julian Corona, Mohr, Perez, Gio Dezera, Scott Palangi, and David K for helping to make these fixed gear videos possible through your support on Patreon. And remember that life is short, but don't make it short, so be sure to ride your bike every day to be reasonably dangerous.